Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing this makeup look perfect for Christmas parties, events, New Year's, any kind of event or party when you want to go full glam, full beat, but you want to be able to do it yourself. I promise if I can do this, you can do this. Very, very easy. I'm going to do a beautiful classic halo eye, something a bit more cool tone, something a bit more festive with, of course, a classic red lip makeup that's going to wear beautifully even if you're out partying from dinner until the following breakfast. This makeup is going to last the stint. This makeup is going to be right there with you, looking flawless all night. Even if your behaviour is less flawless, at least your makeup will still look angelic. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off by priming my eyes with my Urban Decay primer potion. And I'm blending that in with my Sonia G worker from the Fusion series. I don't know what everybody's like Christmas party do's exactly look like, but mine, I used to have like several. I have none now because I'm self-employed and so is my husband, so we don't have Christmas parties anymore. We used to have like 4. I was saying to my husband the other day, we just don't get to have like Christmas dinner. I literally have like 1 Christmas dinner now on Christmas Day, whereas I used to have like 5, because you know, we'd have our office, like our specific office, our branch, we'd have a Christmas dinner and like night out. Then we'd have like the conference, our whole company conference, which was like a big sort of fancy do with a sit down dinner, again Christmas dinner. Then we'd have like our friends Christmas dinner, and then like the big one. 4 Christmas dinners I used to have, now I have 1. Okay, it's very sad, but luckily my sister married an amazing chef, so that one is like very good. So I actually just forgot to fill in my brows. I would have done this before I primed my eye, but too late now. It doesn't really matter. My brows are about, I think, 3 weeks old as far as when I last had them laminated, so I don't yet need to use like gel or anything. They're still sort of holding really well on their own, so I just do a little bit of filling in a couple of places. So I'm going to be using my Mothership X, my Mothership 10 palette today, and I'm going to be kind of focusing on this shade here and doing like a real sort of festive party look. This would also be a great look for New Year's Eve, any kind of holiday, New Year's party event. This would be perfect. You could also use the Lisa Eldridge Vega and get like a similar look that I'm going to do, or you could use Natasha Denona's Glam palette. The reason I wanted to use this one today is because the look I'm going to do is one that I've worn in a few videos, and I've had a lot of requests for a tutorial of like the look that I did with this shade. So I'm going to show you. I thought 2 birds with 1 stone is what I'm saying. So starting off with my Rephr 16, and I'm going to go really lightly into the dark cool matte. And what we're going to do is a bit of a halo eye. I'm really a creature of habit, I would say. And whenever I want to go like full impact with my eyeshadow, I find myself doing a halo. I just think it's so flattering and it's so effective, and it looks like really complicated, but it's actually really not. That's the secret, okay? I feel like it looks really impressive, but anyone can do it. But I will say it's terrifying at first. Like, it looks like it's going really horribly wrong and it's an utter mess until like right at the end, when suddenly it looks like, oh, phew, it's all come together. So I'm just basically packing this, like I'm essentially following the shape of like my lower lash line going up. That's where I'm stamping this, and I'm just kind of bringing this towards the center of the eye. And the thing to remember about halo eye is that it will look amazing if you've kind of got things vaguely in the right place. You don't have to be super worried about exactly where the eyeshadow is starting and stopping. It's all just going to come together when you put that stunning shade in the middle. I'm just sort of blending that up into my crease. If you don't want to do a halo, just do this, by the way. and don't do the inner bit. What I have found over the years is like the right shaped brush, and you can do anything, okay? And the absolute perfect brush for a halo is the Sonia G Builder. This is the one from the Fusion series, and it's just like the perfect density and size to get in here. So we're gonna put this in that inner corner, and we're gonna kind of start to blend it to sort of meet up with the bit from the other side. So make sure that you're really getting right to that lash line and then going up to meet the other side in the crease. And this is when it really starts to look like you're just giving yourself a black eye, and you may start to panic, but all will be well, don't worry. Just going to intensify this outer part so it matches up. Don't worry about making a mess down here because you can clean that up. That's why we do the eyes first. I'm just taking my 16 and just blending that crease so it kind of meets across the top of my crease, across the top of my hood. But you've got that little gap in the middle. Definitely one of those looks where you have to like trust the process, because right now I look like a crazy person. And now for this glorious silver, and I'm using my Rephr 21, nice flat brush, and we're going to pack this in the center of that halo. Again, don't worry too much if you're going over the matte. Just want to whack it in the middle. You can't go too wrong. We're gonna blend it all together at the end. Make sure those edges are nice and blended. So at the moment, just kind of make sure you've got that silver where you want it in the middle. I feel like on this side, the dark shadow is kind of too close to my inner corner. So I'm gonna take the brush that I primed my eyes with, and I'm just gonna clean that up a little. Most makeup mistakes are really easy to just erase. That's why you shouldn't be afraid to do like new things, new techniques, because most things have like a way to like tidy them up. Okay, so now as you can see, the silver, you know, it's giving a nice bit of reflection in the center of my eye, but it's not really popping against the like darker matte. So what we're going to do now is take this special shade down here on my middle finger, and I'm going to press this over the top. Again in the center, and that's gonna amp this up. And now you can see I've definitely gone a bit too far, and so I've kind of made my halo too big. But again, you're just gonna go back into that matte, and that's gonna bring those edges back together, but it's also gonna blend it nicely. Using a bit of that matte, it's gonna blend, so it's less of a dramatic contrast between where the shimmer is and the matte. It's just gonna bring that all together. Okay, so I'm just gonna briefly move on to my skin so that this primer has a bit of time to soak in before we go in with foundation, using of course the Tom Ford Soft Matte. It's my favourite primer. It's a very good choice for like an event because it makes your makeup look just super seamless and smooth, but it also does make it wear really well, and it's not super glowy or shiny. It's not going to make anything look crazy if people are taking like flash photos. We used to have a photographer at our like Christmas conference, and it was dangerous, let me tell you. Okay, so this look, to balance this like dramatic eye look out, this is going to take quite a bit of mascara. I need like dramatic lashes to conquer this eyeshadow. So this is the MAC Stack mascara. Probably these days my favourite dramatic mascara. And for foundation, I'm going to use my Hourglass Soft Glow. I'm having to mix shades at the moment. So this is 8 and 5, I think. I just have to use like a tiny dot of 5. Basically 8 is perfect, but just the teensiest little bit too dark for me. So I'm just mixing like the teensiest bit of 5 in. Using my Sonia G Jumbo base. And I'm going to start blending this. This is my kind of go-to event evening foundation these days because it has really good coverage. It's nice and long wearing. It's got some like luminosity to it, but it isn't glowy, dewy as such. Like it's not like a radiant foundation. It is that soft glow. So it's not going to be really amplified under lights and under flash. You're not going to suddenly look like the Tin Man. Again, because it has no SPF, it's going to photograph beautifully under flash as well as without, under lights, all of that stuff, and it's going to hold up through all of the dancing and the raving. Our office Christmas party, I mean the conference one as well, but that was, you know, the big bosses were there, so that one was always like slightly toned down. But the one with like just our office, oh my goodness, that one was always a madness. Like one year we didn't get home until like 5 in the morning, and let me tell you, on that Monday, whew, that was a struggle. 2 days later, we were all still trying to survive. We just literally kept on going from place to place, trying to find somewhere that was still open, that would allow us in. You know, I work in sport, and everyone who I work with, all of my colleagues, we're all ex-athletes, all from various different sports, but we're all like previous lives, we're all like professional or Olympic sports people, and let me tell you, drinking is Olympic sport in that field also. Sports people know how to party. So those dues used to be insane. So yeah, you need your makeup to hold up from like dinner until like the following breakfast. Although by that point you probably really don't care. So for concealer, I'm going to go in with my Huda, my Holy Grail concealer, and make sure I'm fully covered those dark circles that are going to be peeking through come midnight, for sure. And I'm using my Rephr 35 to gently blend that out, just kind of also tidying up this outer part of the eyeshadow and making that nice and lifted in the corner. Pushing that gently into the skin. I think Rephr's Black Friday sale is still going, by the way. The latest like little set that they had with the 30s, including this one, is such an amazing set. Some really great shapes in there. Rephr are so good with their sales. Like they always do like 50% off everything. They always have great offers. They always listen and give us, you know, the sale that we want. They always kind of ask for a vote from their customers, like what do we want to see. I wish every brand did that. So of course I'm going to set that with my McGrath Undereye Powder, lightly under the eye and heavily on the nose. So we're going to stop a shiny nose. You could always take powder with you if you get a bit too shiny throughout the night. Nice and little to fit in your handbag. Do you see how this is normal, almost completely gone? This is the light shade, by the way. Gonna go back and do another coat of mascara now. This one is setting. Okay, so for bronzer, I'm gonna use my Victoria Beckham in the shade 3, and this is my Sonia G Jumbo Bronzer. Favorite ever bronzer brush. Not doing too much bronzer. I want to like mostly focus on my eyes, so I'm not doing a lot to the cheeks. I just want them to be glowy and bronzy and give me a bit of dimension. The main thing about the cheeks is I want to give my glow with like my cheek products. So if not a matte foundation by any means, about as matte as I get, but I'm going to add quite a bit of glow with like my highlight and my blush. So it's strategically placed, and I've just completely wonkified my eyelash. Oh, oopsie. Basically just squashed my lashes with my finger as I was bronzing. So while that mascara is still wet, it's very easy to fix. Because if I'd let it dry down, it would have been a bit trickier. But whilst it's still a bit wet, it's easy to just correct. Okay, so I'm going to finish off my lower lash line now, and I'm going back in initially with that matte and my Rephr 26, which is like a giant pencil brush. Smoke out that lower lash line. And then something I really like to do when I've done a halo eye is to kind of do a halo eye on the bottom as well. I just love it. So I'm going to use my 03 from Rephr, which is just a really diddy little pointy brush, little pencil brush, and I'm going to press that same special shade that we used on the top just in the middle of that lash line to kind of mimic the halo that we had on the top, on the bottom. I just feel like this looks really pretty. I do kind of blend it in a bit more so it's not quite so crazy as the top. Just think this gives you a really pretty open look, and you get a bit of sparkle on the bottom as well as the top. So really the only time I ever use this little Hourglass highlighting palette is like for super glam looks and occasions when I'm like going all out, because this is extremely glowy. It's very intense, and that's not typically what I go for with highlight, but you know, if you're going to a party, why not? So I kind of just swipe my brush between these two, tap off a lot, and go careful. So I'll kind of add like this and then go to the other side. What you don't want to do is come right in here, because that's going to then be really tricky, and then the excess is just going to go above the brow, cupid's bow, chin, and then when the brush is basically got no more product on, then I'm going to blend it out and bring it sort of further down my cheekbone so that you don't end up with like a massive stripe of product that you then have nowhere to blend. If I sort of brought this right in here initially, then it can start to look a little bonkers, whereas if you just kind of place this really strategically high up, then you've got all this cheek to blend it into, but it's still super popping. And then I'm going to use my Sonia G Soft Definer, which is a really like diddy little brush, just to do like the bridge of my nose. And now, as I'm doing my third coat of mascara, I'm going to add in the lower lashes as well. Once the brush is like almost completely free of product that I have used on the top lashes, I then add to the bottom nice and lightly. Oh, and I almost forgot to highlight my inner corners. I'm just using the lightest shade from the McGrath palette. Very important. And I'm then going to use the gold very lightly, the arch of my brow. That's just a little more subtle. Really blend that into the arch. Okay, so for cheeks, I just want a really neutral, glowy blush. So this is Chanel's Alezane, which I had to order from the US website. So if you are in the UK, some alternatives would be something like Laura Mercier's Fresco. You could use NARS's Savage. Any really glowy, neutral blush. This is my absolute favorite at the moment because it's just super glowy and it's a natural neutral color. So where I've got like a really dramatic eye look, this just finishes the look off nicely. Gives me really glowy like bronze goddess vibes without fighting with like my eyeshadow. So of course you're going to need some setting spray because this is going to need to last. So I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless setting spray. That one is my absolute favourite. It really just melts everything together, but it also makes your makeup last amazingly. Now, of course, we've got to do a holiday red lip. You could do a neutral lip, a nude lip would work really nicely with like quite the dramatic eye. But me, I'm a traditionalist, okay? Christmas parties equals red lip. So this is one of the Chanel Double Tenue lipsticks. This is a double-ended lipstick. The coloured end gives you your pigment and like a drying down lipstick. Once it starts to feel tacky, about now, you use the gloss side and go over the top. These are absolutely perfect, not just for like holiday parties, for any kind of party, for any kind of event. Any time that you want a lipstick that's got really high impact, that's super shiny, that is going to wear incredibly well. They are like one of a kind. Okay, they are absolutely amazing. This colour is Daring Red and it's like the perfect holiday red. But if like me, your Christmas parties or your parties, your events involve like dinner, and presumably they're going to involve drinking, most lipsticks are going to cause you a problem, especially a red. You might get it on someone's shirt, you're going to get it all over your drinks, it's going to completely wear off, it could smear and smudge. But these dry down and are like transfer proof, and they stay, even though they're shiny, they stay like completely set all night. Okay, and here is the finished look. Super glam, super fun, very, very festive with that red lip, which of course you can change and do any lip that you prefer, but super glam, super impact. Everybody is going to be wowed by your eye makeup, but it was actually really easy and really doesn't take that long either. So there you have it. That is my Christmas party, holiday party, festive party, New Year's party, whatever kind of party you want to go to, where you want to look full beat, full glam, put together, but without it taking 3 hours. I think this took me about 40 minutes and I was talking you through. So really not bad, really long wearing, really flawless, beautiful photographed makeup that anyone can do. And everyone's going to be really impressed by your halo eye, even though the secret is it's really not that hard, but don't tell anyone. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.